a lot of us get confused at the initial phase of our career to decide which path to choose, right? So here today we are gonna pick up the topic on the same lines, wherein we are gonna clear the confusion for you. On the matter where you need to decide whether you want to go with data science, ML, or AI, right? So which is the best part to take? So today we have our experienced mentor, Vinodini. She have actually completed her graduation in computer science, and she have almost like 4 years of experience. She have hands-on experience in machine learning and AI, and done highly noticeable job in this area. She has handled a team of 4+ members as well in the past, and her expertise lie in various programming languages like Python, Flash, Django, DRF, AWS server, and a lot more to add on to her profile. She has her expertise, in cloud vision API, natural language processing API, cloud speech. So she is the best person who can guide you for today's session. I'll hand over the session to Vinodini and let her guide you through today to choose the career path for yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Ruby. So I welcome everyone to this webinar. So I really appreciate you showing an interest in this webinar. And so today's topic is data science and machine learning or AI, which is going to be the best path for you to set. Okay, so let's get started. So today's agenda is we will be seeing briefly about what is data science and what is artificial intelligence and what is machine learning, and then analyzing that opportunity and will give you an idea for setting your career path. Okay, so that's the planned agenda for today. So let's get started with the first topic. Okay. So first of all, what is data science, guys? See, what is data science is, it is a term, okay? So it will analyze the data. So first of all, while starting with data science, we should have certain data, right? So if there is some data, then we will be analyzing such data and we will be using that data to create something or to use something to build your business. Okay, that is the basic thing. So first of all, you are having data. So in our world there are plenty of data are available, right? So the data is available everywhere, right? So in each field and in everywhere the data is found. So for example, if you are having a particular data and then let's take it in a corporate company or any of the companies, like let's assume it in that manner. Okay, so first of all, in particular company they will be having more data. Okay, so let's assume that they are working for some automotive industry. Okay, so first of all, if they are having certain data about all the automotive cars and all the things which is related to car, and they will be having that data, right? So for improving their particular business, they will use that particular data and they will enhance that data, and then they will create certain pattern. Okay, so that is the thing. So what data science is, there will be a data, so you will be applying certain techniques, or you will analyze that data to create something which is better for your company growth or whatever it may be. So that is the baseline, what is data science. So how to implement that data science? Okay, so that is the main part, right? So actually data science is a multidisciplinary concept. Okay, so it is having an artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and mathematics, domain knowledge, and computer science and programming. For example, in previously we took an automotive industry, right? So in that, how this data science is going to be applied? First of all, AI. Okay, so they should have a knowledge in AI and machine learning and deep learning. Okay, let's assume it in that way. Okay, and then mathematics and statistics, and then what is their domain knowledge? Their domain knowledge may be mechanical, right? So what is their domain knowledge for that automotive industry? That is it's related to mechanical, electrical, or any of the things related to their domain, right? So after that, how we wanted to implement that, we will be implementing that by computer science or any of the programming languages, right? So this will be the combination of all these platforms to to deliver the data science as the output. Okay, so this is the first and basic way how the data science is used in any of the company, and then how it is going to be implemented. So this is the baseline. So first of all, if you wanted to solve any of the problem in a data science way, then there are main steps available. Okay, so the first one is data, right? So second thing is you want to analyze that data using any of the analysis technique. Okay, so third one is finding certain patterns, and fourth one is applying that pattern to your particular business to enhance your revenue or whatever it may be. Okay, so that is the basic thing in data science. So this image will explain you that in a clearer manner. Okay, let's assume it. So this is the computer science and IT part, and mathematical and statistics, see the domain knowledge, and then machine learning along with the software development, that will be the programming or anything. And traditional search will be like if you wanted to analyze more into the domain knowledge, and then we will be analyzing with mathematics, so that we will be getting some research out of it. R&D will be that. Okay, so then adding all these concepts will give you the outline what is data science. Okay, so the basic thing of data science is we are having a data and we are just analyzing, or we are just creating a pattern out of that particular data to enhance our business. So that is what data science is. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So first of all, before starting to this, you need to understand what is structured data and unstructured data, right? So if you able to differentiate between this, what is structured data and unstructured data, then you can able to easily analyze which data is going to be helpful or which data is going to be not that much helpful, right? So first of all, we are going to see what are the types of data. Okay, first of all, we are going to see what is structured data. See, structured data is an organized data. For example, let's take it in a company, and if there is a company, there will be a portal for each and every employees, right? So let's take that as an example, and inside that there will be a name and what is their gender, address, or whatever the account credentials or they are having, and their stock information, their location, everything, right? So that will be the structured data, right? So you know what is the input, what is the data type of that particular input, and you will be storing that in any of the relational database. For example, what is relational database? It is an SQL or MySQL or anything like that. So that will come under relational database, right? So whichever data you can store that in a relational database, that will be called as a structured data. Okay, so that is easily if there is any data which is present inside the structured data, means it is very easier for you to classify or categorize that particular data. So that is the simple point of structured data. Okay, so now let's move on to the unstructured data. Okay, so what is unstructured data? Of course, by the name itself, you can predict it. It is not organized or well categorized kind of data, right? So it can be in any form. Okay, so the output or so the input of that particular data, you the as a developer, you have not known what type of the data it can be. It can be like in vast data, like it can be a video, audio, or any of these satellite image or anything like that. So okay, so what is the purpose of getting this unstructured data? Once you get this kind of unstructured data, then that data can also be helpful for you to analyze and create a pattern, right? So for developing the business is the main goal, right? So whatever data is present, you wanted to make use of that, right? So that is the basic thing. So now if some data is in unstructured manner, then you will be storing that in a no SQL database, right? So in structured database, which database we will be using? It is a relational database, right? So now in unstructured data, we will be using the no SQL database for storing it, of course, right? So this is the basic thing about structured data and unstructured data, so that we will implement it for creating a better solution, right? So now let's move on to the data science life cycle. Okay, so we have already discussed how to get a data and how to analyze it and then applying it to certain logic and then enhancing our business, right? So that is what I have explained it here. See, let's move on from point one by one. Okay, so first one is problem discovery. Okay, so whatever problem is there, or if you have any of the business, like if there will be any business model, or there will be a running business model will be there, right? So each and every board member or any of the head of the department or certain persons will always have certain goals to particular company, and they wanted to achieve it at the end of like a lane of 5 years or 10 years, like that. Okay, so in that case, what they will do, all the board members or the higher authorities will sit together and brainstorm that particular problem statement. Okay, they will be discussing about the problems and how they can increase their revenue and what are their competitors, like that. They will be sitting together and doing some brainstorming sessions. Okay, so during that brainstorming session, what is the main key? Data is the main key, right? So in their company, they will be having more data, right? So they will be creating that thing, and then they will identify the problem, and then that is the first point called problem discovery. Okay, so the second thing is collection and pre-processing of data based on the problem at hand. Of course, they will be getting the data and then they will collect and pre-process. They will segregate it into an category. Like if it is a structured data, they can be easily used it in the database way, and they can use certain tools or anything to visualize that particular data, right? So now that if it is unstructured, they will categorize that, and by that data they will make use of which data is helpful for them to identify that, to give the solution to that particular problem. Okay, so that will goes to the second point. And then preparing of data, we will be using the EDA technique. Okay, that is a exploratory data analysis. Okay, so that thing is going to be under for preparation of data. There are certain tools in GCP or any of the online available things. So in GCP there is a thing called data prep. Okay, so this process will come under data prep. Okay, so you before you are having any raw data, you first need to pre-process that, and after that you want to prepare the particular data, right? So that is what the third point is. After that, create a production ready model using these understandings. Of course, after pre-processing and preparation of everything, what the final thing is going to be, you will be creating some production ready application or model. What is a model? It can be a prototype model. Okay, so before, in any company, if they are creating any of the problem statement of if they wanted or planning to create any product, before that they will be creating a prototype model. Okay, so how they are creating a prototype model is, they will be creating a mimic or anything like a model that will be an exact replica of the working model. Okay, so that they can provide that particular prototype to the business person or to the customer to get approval for that. So that is the production or prototype model. Okay, so they will be creating all these things. So what if you take any of the data science project, so this is the basic rule, you will be applying it for each and every problem statement. Okay, so this will be the data science life cycle. Okay, so now let's move on to the next slide. So now we are going to see what are the tools and frameworks available in this particular data science. Okay, so there I already mentioned it, like AWS and Apache Hadoop, Spark, Tabule, Big ML, Fast AI, and Thano, right? So these are all the tools and frameworks which will be helping the data science to analyze the data. Okay, so these are the already available tools which will be helping you to easily get the pattern or easily able to analyze the output of that particular data to enhance your business. Okay, so these are the tools and frameworks. And then we are done with the data science part. Okay, so data science will always include a part called getting a problem statement with the data and then analyzing it and then creating a pattern out of it to enhance the business, right? So now we are moving to the artificial intelligence. Okay, so what is artificial intelligence is, it is like in we wanted to create some model, some computer or some program to act or to perform like a human, right? So we wanted to, if we are planning to create certain mission or certain things to apply all the intelligence what humans is going to have, then this will come under artificial intelligence. Okay, so first of all, it is categorized to the two parts. Okay, so first one is narrow AI and second one is general AI. Okay, first of all, narrow AI is applicable and we are always using that in our real time as of now in past 5 to 6 years, right? So we are able to see a self-driving car or chatbots, right? So these are called as the narrow AI. For what is artificial intelligence is, if you wanted to perform certain specific task and then you wanted that particular mission to perform like a human, right? So that is called as artificial intelligence. And then some of the examples is self-driving car and chatbots. Okay, so now let's move on to general AI. Okay, so general AI is really under R&D. Okay, so it is not a fully established or fully developed concept in AI. So what is it? So of course, each and every artificial intelligence person or any of the engineer will aspire to create this general AI. Okay, so like in movies we used to see certain robots which will perform each and every task, right? So there are many films for us to compare with, right? So they will be having, that will be called as a humanoid robot, but humanoid robot with all the sensories like exactly like human. That is not possible, or that is not have been implemented yet. Okay, so still that is in R&D part. Okay, so there are few humanoid robots available, but mostly it is not recognized. Few in past 10 years we have saw like one or two humanoid robots which have been enlisted in any of the countries, or I hope so. I hope so everyone have known about that particular information. So now in general purpose AI, so it is still in R&D, right? So of course each and every AI engineer or any person wanted to create this kind of versatility in this particular human and then implement all the natural intelligence what the human is having. So that is called general AI. Okay, so first of all, if you wanted to create a certain mission and wanted to have that mission all the capabilities what a human can do, or it can automate certain process which can be done by the humans, is come under artificial intelligence. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so now we are going to see what are all the tools and frameworks in this AI tool. Okay, so there are plenty of tools and frameworks available in this AI. So if you wanted to implement this AI in data science, that is also possible. Okay, so at end of this session I will relate and compare how these three domains are interrelated and how these three domains are working together with the frameworks, tools, and then implementing it for the better business solution or for the better world. Okay, so first of all, now we are going to see what is AI tools and frameworks. Okay, so now first one is scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Thano, Caffe, MXNet, Keras, PyTorch, CNTK, AutoML, OpenNNN, and open source AI platform called H2O, and then Google ML Kit. Okay, so there are many plenty of tools and frameworks available to implement this particular problem statement called AI. Okay, so this is the basic concept what AI is. Okay, so now let's move on to what is machine learning. So as of now, we are done with what is data science and what is artificial intelligence, and now we are moving to the main topic called machine machine learning. Okay, so what is machine learning? It is like exactly creating an algorithm and computer algorithm to improvise or automate certain part of your operations. Okay, that is called machine learning. See, if you wanted to perform certain thing, and then it can be if you done it for first time, and then in for the second time if you want to repeat the same thing, then that is a time cost, right? You don't need to waste your particular time. So in that manner, if you have certain algorithm or any particular technique, so that you can implement that particular technique to get the better output. So that is what all machine learning is about. Okay, so if you are having certain algorithms inside this machine learning, though you will be applying that particular algorithm to your particular problem statement, and you will be getting the output. That is called machine learning. First of all, I'm going to give you an example how this machine learning works. Okay, so first of all, everyone just imagine a or a student is studying in a school. Okay, so then what they will do, they will be given with the some of the notes. Okay, so by the mentor or by their faculty members. Okay, so let's assume it in that manner. And then if the particular student is given with that particular note, he will be reading that throughout till the exams, right? So he will be reading that, and during the exam, if the particular same notes came in, he can able to easily ace that particular problem statement, right? So that is called that is one of the way of learning or teaching the algorithm or the machine learning technique. Okay, so that is we give the particular notes to the student and asking that student to identify or to give a particular question with that particular notes itself. Okay, so this is one way of machine learning technique. So if that particular way, if we apply that particular way, then what the student will do, of course he will be completing that test and he will be getting better marks, right? So that is the one way of learning the machine learning algorithm. So second thing is there is some other way. Okay, so if you give certain data and you will be explaining that to the particular student, you will be handing it over the notes, and it will be like let's assume A and B as the inputs, and he will be performing certain operations. Okay, so in the exam, if the particular question paper, in that particular question paper, let's assume there will be not A and B, there will be a input called C and D. Okay, so if the student can relate and identify this A and B can also be applied in this C and D, and can identify and imply the same logic to C and D, and if he can apply that thing and can complete that exam, then that is called another way of machine learning. Okay, so first one is we given the notes, and within the notes we are asking the questions and the particular person is answering, right? So the second thing is we are giving the particular notes and we are not giving anything inside that particular note, but the features and the characteristics of that particular notes is available in that answer sheet, but it is not exactly the same question, right? So if they are giving it in that way, even though in some of the algorithm in machine learning it can find. Okay, so now we are going to see that in a brief manner. Okay, so there are multiple types of machine learning. So there is three types, right? First one is supervised, semi-supervised, and then unsupervised, and then reinforcement learning. So previously I told to you what is supervised learning. So first method, what is it? We gave the notes and we asked them to identify or write the exam within the notes, right? So that is called supervised learning. Let's assume it in that manner. Okay, when the data is fed and along with the target labels. Okay, so that is called supervised or semi-supervised. Okay, so now let's move on to unsupervised. So unsupervised will be the person is handed with the notes, but it will have an input called A and B as a question, but in the question paper it will be like C and D. If the person can identify that particular A and B characteristics and the working principle, and then if he can implement that in the CND, then it is called unsupervised learning. So when the data is fed and does not contain the target label, so it is the person is trained with, or the model is trained with the data, but it does not have the target label, right? So that is called unsupervised learning. Okay, so the third one is reinforcement learning. Okay, so this is different from this both supervised and unsupervised. Okay, actually it works exactly like human. Okay, so this reinforcement learning is still an process which we will be keep on doing R&D, and we want to improvise that model to perform the accuracy rate, right? So this reinforcement learning is still under development or still under R&D. Okay, so if it observes the context, perform the task, and it is rewarded if done. Okay, and also punishes if it done incorrectly. Okay, so for example, if particular model, you trained a particular model, then if you train that particular model, and then it will be identifying or writing an exam for that particular trained model, right? So in reinforcement model it will happen, if it find the right model, and then it will be like an accuracy of 90%, let's say. Okay, so if in another test case or another input, if the person is giving, then it is finding it as a 50% of accuracy or below 30% of accuracy, then it is, of course, it is a wrong thing, right? So it is an incorrect output, it is not finding the output correct. So in reinforcement learning, if it is finding it wrong, then what it will do, it will train that particular output as an input, and then retrain that particular model, and then give the output. So this is called reinforcement learning. Okay, so these are the main techniques how the machine learning is works. And as of now, knowing what is machine learning, and there are certain algorithms, and then what are all the types to implement that machine learning is the main thing. Okay, so now let's move on to the implementing way. Okay, so there are in previous slide we saw what are all the types of machine learning, right? So first one is supervised machine learning. So in this supervised machine learning, there are two types. First one will be the classification problem, and second one will be the regression problem. So if I explain what is classification problem and how it works, then you can easily able to understand how it works. Okay, for example, image classification or identity of fraud detection. Okay, let's take that as an example for classification. For let's assume, like in an image you wanted to identify what is human and what is an object. Okay, that is the input. Okay, so in this case, if you have given a problem statement with this particular problem, you wanted to classify that human and the object. Okay, so if you are trained with that particular model and a few data sets to that, and you are training that particular model, and you are able to, at the end of the result, you are able to identify which is human and which is object. Okay, so if you are working under that certain categories, then it will come under classification problem. Okay, so and there is another model called regression model, that this is also come under supervised learning. So this one will be the weather forecasting and then population growth prediction. Okay, when you wanted to give a prediction or forecasting or anything related to that, then it will come under regression model. Okay, so we know what is supervised learning, and we know there are two types of problems, that is classification problem. If any of the problems will come under classification or the detection or any kind of thing, then you can directly go to the classification problem. And if you have anything wanted to be predicted or forecasted, then you can directly go to the regression model. Okay, so now let's move on to the unsupervised model. Okay, so the first one is clustering and the second one is dimensionality reduction. Okay, so in clustering it will be the recommendation system. Okay, right? For example, in the Amazon or any of the websites, if you are searching something, it will recommend more things at the end of the typing thing, right? So you used to see that. So that kind of, if you wanted to implement that kind of learning, then you can always use this clustering for recommendation. Okay, so the second thing is dimensionality reduction. So this will be the big data visualization and meaningful compression and then structured discovery. For example, if you are creating certain value or certain problem statement to identify the structure and big data visualization, then you can definitely go to this particular dimensionality reduction and you can always get the output right. Okay, so these two things will be coming under unsupervised learning, and most probably the accuracy and everything will be related to your input and times of steps you are training that particular model. Okay, so then the last thing is reinforced model. So this will be like on robot navigation, real-time decision, skill acquisition, and game AI. Okay, so what is reinforcement learning? If it do some problem, if it find the solution at correct, then it will accept the answer. If it is wrong, then the what is the output we are checking, then it will be passed to the training model, then it will train the particular model and then gives the output. Okay, so that is called reinforcement model. So these are the few applications of reinforcement learning. I hope each and every types of machine learning will be solving a variety of problems and then it will be giving a solution. Okay, so as of now I wanted to explain what are the frameworks inside this machine learning. Okay, so there are multiple frameworks available. So Amazon machine learning, Apache Sigma, and TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, ML Spark, Torch, PyTorch, Shogun, and Spark ML, Cafe, H2O, Keras, MLPack, Azure ML Studio, Google Cloud ML Engine, Thano, and Wheels. Okay, so these are the inbuilt or these are the already available machine learning frameworks available. So we can always use this particular framework and we can able to train our particular model to give the output, right? So now we are going to have a poll. Let's move on to the poll part.
Guys, we do have a poll that is there on the screen. So the question is, find the odd one out of machine learning types. So you have four options here: supervised learning, multi-supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Let us just check how attentive you were throughout the session. Your answer will let us know whether you were. We just have a few seconds left for the poll. Kindly key in the answer before we end this. All right. It is really a good visual to see that 83% of the people out here are pretty attentive. I'm sure the other ones have quite a little doubts here. So what you can do is you can paste your question into a session and we will take it up. All right, so we are gonna take up all the questions towards the end of this particular session. So kindly key in you type in the questions as and when you have, and we'll take it up. Over to you again, Vinodini.
Yeah. So now we are moving to what is deep learning. Okay, so as of now we are cleared with what is data science, what is machine learning, what is artificial intelligence, right? So now we wanted to learn something about called deep learning because it is a subset of machine learning. Okay, so in machine learning we saw what are all the techniques or what are all the types to find the machine learning, right? One is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning, and now it is called deep learning. Okay, so what deep learning is, it is a subset of machine learning and then it will be having a deep understanding of each and every machine learning problems. Okay, so now let's assume this as the neural network. Okay, so first of all be the input layer. So first of all, if you have any of the inputs, it will take as the input here and then it will be or process in this particular hidden layers. So in hidden layers, it will be not visible to you, but in the particular algorithm which is already pre-built, like ASP.NET or RESTnet or MobileNet, there are many plenty of models available in this deep learning, so that you can always reuse that particular model to create a new model for your problem statement. Okay, this is what how the neural network works. First of all, you will be passing the input in the input layer, and then what it will do, it will be performing certain things inside the hidden layers. There can be multiple hidden layers, and after that be the output. Okay, so then it always like it includes the creation of artificial neuron. Okay, so which will be acts as the basic building block of deep learning. For example, how this deep learning techniques comes in is by using the how our human brain works and how the neurons connect with each and everything. Let's assume like a newborn child or anything, let's assume it in that manner. If that newborn child is seeing something for a first time, okay, if that person if that child is seeing something for a is seeing some person or some human being as the first thing, and what that brain will works, how that brain will works. Okay, so how that brain will works, first of all, it will see all the features. See, let's say that child saw the mother as the first particular object into their brain. Okay, let's assume it will categorize that person, or it will assume all the characteristics of that particular object or any of the person in that particular mind by using the neural, by using some of the neurons or anything in related to the brain, right? So how that's how this deep learning model also came in. Okay, so first of all, if some of the model is given to any of the problem statement, it is also called as a new child to that particular problem statement, right? So what we wanted to do, we want to feed each and everything to that particular model, and then we want to train that particular model, and then we will be getting the solutions, right? So first of all, if we wanted to identify certain object or certain human, or how the human body will work or human brain will work, right? So that is how this deep learning is also going to work. So if it wanted to identify certain object or certain image or certain part of any of the object, then it wanted to be given with each and every characteristics clear, right? So if you wanted to identify the rectangle object in the particular image, let's assume it in that manner. If you wanted to identify that rectangle, then what happens, you wanted to feed that model it as like what is the dimension of that particular thing, what is the maximum height, what is the minimum height, what are all the edges, how many edges will be there in the rectangle, and if it is also a rectangle, if it also have a four edges but it is equal in size, then it is some other object. If the only the opposite two sides of the edges are equal, and then it is called rectangle. So we wanted to feed each and everything to that particular model to identify the object, right? So that is what deep learning is. There are certain many inbuilt models available. You can always use that particular model to create that deep learning thing. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic. Okay, now like I already mentioned that it is also the same way called biological neuron. It will also works as the biological neuron, and then once the data or signal is fed to the neuron, it will process the finding the pattern and decipher the information and try to minimize the loss and give the satisfactory result, right? So that is how a human brain will work, right? The same thing will be applied to the deep learning. Okay, so if you wanted to find a problem statement and to find it very efficient manner, then if you are giving a large amount of data, it requires a training of huge data set to produce a good result, right? So for let's assume it in this way. If you wanted to classify 100 cars, okay, you wanted to classify the Ford model as the first thing, and second one BMW, Jaguar, or whatever car it may be. Okay, so first of all, as a human, what you will do, if you wanted to categorize, or if you want to classify all the cars, what is the first thing you will notify or mention? It will be their bonnet, or what are the symbol it is placed in that particular car, or what kind of an shape it is, or what SUV or a hatchback or whatever it may be, right? So by analyzing or by seeing all the features, you will be analyzing that particular thing, and you will be classifying by using the human neurons, right? So same wise, in deep learning also, what it will do is, it will first identify all the objects, like it will see the bonnet and it will see the logo or anything like that. The front, if the front grill is something like this, then it will goes under BMW category or anything like that. First of all, in deep learning, you need to have a data of each and every features and characteristics of all the cars, and then if you give that image as an input to that particular model, it will extract all the features, and then it will train that particular model, and then it will find the solution very accurately. Okay, that is how this deep learning works. Okay, so now we are going to see what are all the different types of deep learning which we will be seeing. Okay, so first one is ANN. First one is ANN, that is artificial neural networks. Okay, so this is something called, if you wanted to solve something related to numerical data. For example, if you have an thing called an weather forecasting or something like that, you will be reading the humidity, or what are all the things in this particular geolocation, or what are the climatic conditions, then you will be having all those data in a numerical format, right? So in that particular problem, if you wanted to solve something related to numbers, then you can always use this artificial neural networks called ANN. Okay, so the second thing is convolutional neural networks. So it used to solve the task which is related to images. So for example, as the previous example I mentioned, if you wanted to classify some cars, then you can always use this convolution neural network. Okay, so if you want to classify 2 or 3 cars with the images, then you can always use this CNN technique. Okay, so the third one is RNN. It is called recurrent neural network. So it is something called, it is always related to textual or time series data. Okay, so if you wanted to perform some kind of problem statement, and you wanted to create certain models based on this particular neural network, then it will come under this RNN model. Okay, so these are the types of that deep learning. So if you know what is machine learning, then this deep learning will be the subset of that particular machine learning. And by in machine learning, there are certain algorithms available which will be helping you to improvise the efficiency of the output in machine learning. Okay, so that is the basic rule. So now we are going to see some of the applications of this deep learning. Now it is called facial recognition, image classification, object detection, Snapchat filters, and self-driving cars. Okay, so in Snapchat filters, there are plenty of things available, right? So if you have certain facial thing is feeded into the input, then there are multiple operations or performing, like it can also show the aging of the particular image or anything related to that, right? So all these techniques will only be implemented by deep learning technologies. Okay, so I want to add few applications for you for better understanding. So now it's the poll 2.
So we'll have the second poll run for you right now. So the question here is, find the deep learning methods. You again have 4 options for it. The first one is ANN. The second one is CNN. The third one is RNN. And the fourth one is all of the above. So we have this poll running for a very short time. Kindly key in the answer so that we know how much are you following the session. Perfect. So we have a lot of people answering all of the above, which is kind of a right answer right now. Right. So we have few questions. We can see a lot of people putting up the questions in the Q&A. We will definitely take up these questions once we proceed towards the end of the session. All right. Meanwhile, we will just get back to the session. Let Vinodini, throw some more light on this. Vinodini, over to you now.
Yeah, thank you. So now let's move on to the comparison of all these domains. Okay. So first of all, each and every domain we saw it in a individual manner, right? So now artificial intelligence is something called, if you wanted to achieve something and if you want the particular thing to exactly replicate the human activities, then it will come under artificial intelligence, right? So what is machine learning? Machine learning is a subset of AI in which machine learning is an ability, or we will be performing some of the algorithms. We will be giving certain algorithms to that particular thing, problem statement, and then we will just create the output out of it. So that will be coming under machine learning, right? So what is deep learning? Deep learning is an approach to ML, and we also saw it is a subset of ML, and it is like for creating an efficient output or to give a high performance output, then you will always use this deep learning technique. Okay. So what is data science? So finally, what is data science is, it is a combination of all these three along with mathematics, statistics, and some of the domain knowledge, everything, right? So this will be the glimpse of what artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and data science is. Okay. So if you are clear with each and everything, and if you can differentiate with all the techniques and how to implement it, or what are all the frameworks it is going to have, then you can easily choose your particular path. So if you wanted to become a data scientist, or if you wanted to become a machine learning engineer or artificial intelligence engineer, then you can always see the importance of each and every topic and how the techniques or how the tools and frameworks works, and then you can always implement that in your particular domain and get a solution out of it. Okay. So I will the summary of it. Okay. So of course, each and everything, each and every ML, DL, AI, and data science will be in a same domain, right? So because each and everything will be is something related to a data, and we are creating something and we are finding some of the outputs, right? So this is the only it all lies in a single line. Okay. So now if you want to differentiate what is ML, what is DL, what is AI, and what is data science, you really wanted to have a deep understanding about each and every topic in a separate manner, right? So if you have it, then what this data science will cover is, it will also have a data integration, distributed architecture, automated machine learning, data visualization, dashboards and BI, data engineering, deployment in production mode, and automated data driven decisions. For example, this is something no, something we already discussed, right? So if something is related to data and you wanted to perform the solution for certain principle or certain problem statement to give a better output for that company or any of the businesses, then it will come under data science. Okay. So in machine learning, it will be like you will be applying certain algorithms to that, and then you will be finding the solution for that particular problem statement. DL is something which is going to help this machine learning to get the higher performance or higher efficiency rate, right? So in AI, it is something like you wanted to create some of the machines or anything that wanted to perform the exact operation of what human does. So that is called AI. Okay. So now let's see the overview of all the things. Okay. So each and everything will lies in the will differentiate in a single bit. Okay. You wanted to identify that very properly. So first one, we will go to the machine learning. So it will be like cleaning, preparing. Of course, if you want to create a model and you want to perform and apply certain algorithms, some supervised or unsupervised or reinforcement learning method, then you want to clean, prepare, and then you want to create a model and then evaluate evaluate that particular model. So that will be the machine learning. Okay. So what is deep learning? Of course, it will be the same thing. What it will added? It will be added with the neural network concept, like a human brain or how the human neurons work, right? So this one is like feature extraction. For example, if you are identifying the certain car with the logo or label, what is the first thing you will get? That is feature, right? What is that feature? That is the first step in deep learning. Feature extraction, grouping, and evaluating, and then improving. So this ML and DL or interrelate. And this will be the subset. DL will be the subset of ML. Okay. So now we come to AI. Okay. So AI is something called, we wanted to create some model or a problem state or a model which will always replicate the human things, right? So that's what AI is. So first one is learning, second one is knowledge, third one interference, and final thing is decisions. Okay. So if it is performing all these things, then you can always create an artificial intelligence model. Okay. So now the final thing is data science. So now it is combination of all these three. Okay. So first one is you wanted to have a data, and then you will be performing whatever technique that will create a business model or a business to grow. So right, so that is the basic thing of data science. So if you want to implement deep learning, you can always do that. If you want to perform and machine learning, you can always do that. And if you want to create some AI model to enhance the business in a data science way, you can always do that, right? So first one is storing, cleaning, and merging, and then describing. Like while you are always getting a data, you will be analyzing that particular data, and then you will be creating a pattern out of it, and then you wanted to enhance the particular business, right? So that's come the data science. Okay, so this is the sum of an overview of all the area to get in what the output is. Okay, so now finally I wanted to create some charts so that it will be easier for you guys to understand. Okay, so first of all, deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Okay, so if you want to create some problem for science, or if you want to be data scientist or anything, then you wanted to perform all the three disciplinaries like deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, along with what mathematics and statistics, some of the your domain knowledge, and with the programming skills or computer knowledge, right? So this is the explanation of how this each discipline stand in a different manner, but they are all standing together in a same domain, but each and everything differs in a single points. Okay, so first of all, the problem is in finding a data. It is like you want to figure out what to do with that, right? So each and everything will be giving the same solution, right? Each and every domain will have a data. Then if you want to figure out what to do that, if you want to perform a deep learning, then you can do something in that, and you can solve the problem, and you can also implement the machine learning, and also the artificial intelligence technique, and also the data science, right? So if there is some data, you are the only final person to choose which domain is helpful for identifying the problem, and then give the better solution for the any of the business to grow, right? So this is the huge overview of what the each and every domain stands. So now it comes the poll.
So we come towards the end of the session. We only have a bit left now. So here comes the third poll. Find the odd characteristics of unstructured data. If you have been attentive, you will definitely be able to answer it correctly. So let's just find it out how many of us can answer this correct. So the option goes like no predefined format. The next option is making it much more difficult to collect, process, and analyze. The third one is it can use SQL database. And finally, data include text, video, audio, social media, and satellite imagery. The poll is going to end soon. Kindly key in your answer. All right, so we have mixed answers here. Okay, so a lot of them have answered it. We have various options here, but however, I think the third option is the correct answer for you. So whoever gave that, answer is the correct one. All right. Okay, let's move on with this session. Vinodni, do we have anything else to add up to the session right now?
Yeah, yes, the final thing is there. Okay, so of course, each and everyone knew what is each and every domain will do and how we are going to solve a problem in each and every domain, right? So we are clear up to that. So now you wanted to know how much numbers you are going to make as an each developer. If you know how to perform in an artificial intelligence and in machine learning and in data science, then you can always switch to that particular domain and you can work for that. Okay, so now you wanted to know something about the numbers, right? So it can be like in India, I added the LPS for in India. So it can be for artificial intelligence engineer, it can be starts from 6 LPA to max up to 12 LPA. Okay, so that is the range of numbers you will be making. And as a machine learning engineer, how much you can make is up to 7 LPA to max up to 15 LPA. Okay, that is what you are going to make a number. And then as a data science person or as a data scientist or a data analyst or any of the data science related person, you will be always making as a start from 8 LPA to max up to 19 LPA. And this data science and data scientist role is like in playing a major role in each and every companies. Okay, so if you have a company, there will be a data and there should be a data scientist, right? So that is why in the recent few years or in the past 10 years, you will be hearing this buzzwords called data scientist, machine learning engineers, artificial intelligence engineer, right? So the most important value is going to the data scientist. Okay, so I always recommend to learn the data science, so that if you are going to be a data scientist, then always you can switch to artificial intelligence or machine learning or deep learning. You can always switch that, because as a data scientist you will always perform each and everything in the data scientist role. Okay, so this is what I wanted to add. So thank you guys.
All right, so I would add a little more information to what Vinodini just said. So yes, so data science is a kind of program which is one of the most in-demand tech roles at the moment and one of the highest paying jobs. At UniKaksha, we have been, training candidates from IT and non-IT sector, and assuring them a job in this particular field. All right, we have various payment options available. Also, the average package that we have provided to a data scientist in the past ranges anywhere between 10 to 12 lakhs. As Vinodini just said, that's the kind of a market rate of a data scientist, and we have been successful in providing that to our candidates. The highest that we have reached up to is 25 lakhs. So that's the kind of package that you can expect if you become a data scientist and choose this particular domain for your career. All right, so in case if you are interested in knowing more about this program, and if you want to have a one-on-one counseling session with us, do let us know through chat, and also we will run a poll shortly just to know whether you are interested in this particular program. Here you go with the poll. So whoever is interested to know more about the program and want to have a counseling session with us, do key a yes, and we will get in touch with you shortly. Thank you for that. We will shortly connect with you, on a detailed discussion for data scientists. We have few questions here in Q&A that we have been saying since the beginning of the session. Vinodini, we would want you to take up these questions. All right. So,
Sure.
yeah, so the first one that we have is, somebody asking us a little more information about prototype model. What is it? So if we can throw some light
Okay,
on it.
see, Yeah, first of all, a prototype model is something like, if in any of the business, let's take it, in any of the business, if you want to create any of the product or any of the output out of it, first of all, you wanted to get confirmation with the customer, right? So customer and business planning team or any of those things, right? So before implementing that, you always wanted to create a prototype, right? It is called as a, right, like a running model, or it can be something called as a flow chart. Okay, so if you wanted to create a prototype model, and then if you demonstrate each and every step to the customer or the managers, then you can easily able to track down to each and every steps, right? So for example, let's assume there are 10 steps available, and then if you are dragging down each and everything in a step by step manner, and you can always plan each and every associates or anything to that, right? So if there is a problem statement and there are 10 steps, in the first step you wanted to assign 2 or 3 members to that. Okay, so what is the planning cost of the resource, and what is the time cost, or what is the software needed to be used? So for the better understanding of each and every problem statement, and the how you are going to implement that particular problem statement, you always wanted to create a prototype model. So that is the advantage. And each and every program or any product while any company is going to do, then they will be creating that prototype model. Okay, thank you.
Right. So another question that we have is show the tools and framework in AI and ML. We did cover this, in the session. I remember Vinodini sharing a slide wherein we had discussed about frameworks, right, Vinodini?
Yes, we already discussed about the all the frameworks, and also I can add that now. See, there are multiple frameworks. Most probably, you can use TensorFlow or PyTorch or Cafe or Keras model. Okay, and also there are something called Amazon Machine Learning, GCP. There are many frameworks you can always use to implement that particular AI problems or any of the problems you wanted to solve. Okay, so there are multiple explanations available in that particular documentation. You can always read to that, and you can always implement to that. And we are offering certain course, and I will in that particular course we will be explaining deep about all these tools and how to use this particular framework, and how to get an output, and how to create a product out of it.
Perfect. Uh, we have another question wherein somebody has asked me where should I learn data science certification. So you were interested. So as mentioned, if you have keyed in a yes in the poll, we will definitely get in touch with you and explain you how the journey at UniKaksha is going. Also, tools and frameworks is already done. So I think now I can't see any more questions in the Q&A. In case if you have any, you can put those down. We will wait for a couple of more minutes before we end the session. So in case if you have any question, do let us know so that we can take it up right now when we have our mentors still available right now. Somebody is asking me for the PPT that got shared today during the session. Well, unfortunately, we cannot give you the PPT. However, the entire session will be uploaded on the YouTube. If you want to refer it again, you can definitely visit our YouTube channel and have a look at the session that was done today. The PPT slides would be displayed there as it's a recorded session, so you can have a look there. I hope that would be helpful for you. Perfect. So as we waited for a few minutes and I don't see any questions coming up for our mentors, so we would like to end the session for today. Before we go, I would like to wish you a very happy weekend and Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you so much for attending the session. We look forward to, connect with you soon, I think the coming week on Saturday. Thank you so much.